An online worship community. My name is Jason Hollinger. I'm the preaching and community minister here. And as we start out our week in our Jesus and Coffee devotionals, I want to take us to the book of Ruth. Ruth is a beautiful book of faithfulness, of redemption. And yes, there is some sorrow and some sadness, all these things that take place. But as here in a moment, we're going to get into Ruth chapter 3. We're going to see what God, yes, has in store for Ruth and her mother-in-law Naomi, but really a foreshadowing for what God has for his people. And so before we get into chapter 3, let's back up to chapter 1. Chapter 1 says, "In the days when the judges ruled, there was a famine in the land, and a man of Bethlehem in Judah went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. The name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife Naomi. And the names of his 2 sons were Mahlon and Chilion. They were Ephrathites from Bethlehem in Judah. They went into the country of Moab and remained there. But Elimelech, the husband of Naomi, died, and she was left with her 2 sons. These took Moabite wives. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other Ruth. They lived there about 10 years. And both Mahlon and Chilion died, so the woman was left without her 2 sons and her husband." And from this, Naomi gives Orpah and Ruth an opportunity to, you know, hey, listen, you don't have to stay with me. You can go and be back with your people. Orpah does, and no knock against Orpah. She went to go be with her people, but Ruth chose to remain loyal to Naomi. And, when we think about this, what Ruth did, again, we talked about how this is a book of, yes, sorrow and sadness and loss, but loyalty, but faithfulness and redemption. So let's fast forward to chapter 3. "Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said to her, 'My daughter,'" and this is Ruth that she's talking about, "my daughter, should I not seek rest for you that it may be well with you? Is not Boaz our relative with those young women you were?" We get introduced to a man named Boaz, and he's going to play a major role here later. "See, he is winnowing barley tonight at the threshing floor. Wash, therefore, and anoint yourself, put on your cloak, and go down to the threshing floor. But do not make yourself known to the man until he has finished eating and drinking. But when he lies down, observe the place where he lies, then go and uncover his feet and lie down, and he will tell you what to do." And she replied, "All that you say I will do." So she went down to the threshing floor and did just as her mother-in-law had commanded her. And when Boaz had eaten and drunk, and his heart was merry, he went to lie down, and at the end of the heap of grain. Then she came softly and uncovered his feet and lay down. At midnight the man was startled and turned over, and behold, who wouldn't be, right? A woman lay at his feet. He said, "Who are you?" And she answered, "I am Ruth, your servant. Spread your wings over your servant, for you are a redeemer." And he said, "May you be blessed by the Lord, my daughter. You have made this last kindness greater than the first, and that you have not gone after young men, whether poor or rich. And now, my daughter, do not fear. I will do for you all that you ask, for all my fellow townsmen know that you are a worthy woman. And now it is true that I am a redeemer. Yet there is a redeemer nearer than I. Remain tonight, and in the morning, if he will redeem you, good, let him do it. But if he is not willing to redeem you, then as the Lord lives, I will redeem you. Lie down until the morning." So she lay at his feet until morning, but arose before one could recognize another. And he said, "Let it be known that the woman came to the threshing floor." And he said, "Bring the garment you are wearing and hold it out." So she held it out, and he measured out about 6 measures of barley and put it on. Then she went into the city. And when she came to her mother-in-law, she said, "How did you fare, my daughter?" Then she told her all that the man had done for her, saying, These 6 measures of barley he gave to me, for he said to me, you must not go back empty-handed to your mother-in-law. She replied, wait, my daughter, until you learn how the matter turns out. For the man will not rest, but will settle the matter today. As we go on in the book of Ruth into chapter 4, we see Boaz redeems Ruth as the kinsman redeemer. We see Ruth and Boaz marry in chapter 4. And then I love this in chapter 4, verse 18. Now these are the generations of Perez. Perez fathered Hezron. Hezron fathered Ram. Ram fathered Amminadab. Amminadab fathered Nahshon. Nahshon fathered Salmon. Salmon fathered Boaz, right? Boaz fathered Obed. Obed fathered Jesse. And Jesse fathered David. Our Savior comes from a long line of redeemers. But ultimately, he is the true Redeemer. Ultimately, he is the one that can redeem us. Ultimately, he is the one who can free us. You know, we mentioned last week that importance of not just crying out for a deliverer, but crying out to the deliverer, to cry out to Jesus. Well, today my challenge to you is to cry out to the Redeemer, the one who can redeem us in the way that gives us hope, in the way that gives us something to long for, something to look forward to. You know, there are a lot that can come and claim a lot of things. There are a lot can come that who can come into our lives and say, well, I can offer you this and I can offer you that. They can claim to be a redeemer, that there are other redeemers out there, but there is one true redeemer. One true redeemer that can do something for you that nobody else can. There is one who says, I am the way to the Father. Some others can say it. I know. But there's one who can say it and who can back it up. Takes you believing it, though. Takes you hearing it and saying, yes, I believe. Do you? Can't wait to hear how it goes. Cry out to the Redeemer. Put your trust in him. Y'all have a great day. God bless.